rebounds to them, and they had those 15 points in 5 minutes, and then after that, they really struggled to score. Really, the rest of the game, I thought our guys were very, very sharp. They got to the point where they stopped running their stuff and just kind of went one-on-one. They had to get out of all of their set plays that they run. Our kids did a great job of guarding that, and then it just came down to just guarding one-on-one.
Well, Mike Latulip, who did it.
How did Mike do, by the way?
He was outstanding, Coach. He was outstanding. He didn't second-guess any of your calls.
Completely unlike when he played for him. It's very unusual.
But he made a point. You just talked about it a little bit, Mike, and go on. He said he mentioned he picked it up early, was how Toledo, it could really never get into their offensive sets.
Go ahead, Mike. One of the things I wanted to ask you, and obviously a lot of people had a hand in guarding Fletcher, but specifically Everett and Parker, the job that they did on Everett as a freshman. I mean, talk about what kind of job he did on Fletcher today.
Well, Parker, we've asked Parker this year, obviously, a lot to guard the best big kid. Obviously not the best guard. Mark Hughes usually gets that. But Parker gets the best 3, 4, 5. And obviously Fletcher's averaging almost 20 points a game and did a really good job on him. And you're right, Everett did a good job. And I'll tell you who else did a good job was some too. And so we have good defenders we can throw at him. You have to keep a lot of guys on him. He's such a good athlete. The thing he's so good at is just throwing the ball at the rim and then going and getting it, because he's so quick. He hits the floor. He knows where it's going. He chases it. We give up way too many offensive rebounds. I think this is the most this year. We've been really, really good at that. But they got to a point where they were just desperate, and they were just throwing at the rim and just crashing like crazy, and we didn't do a great job of finishing plays. But, really pleased with how Loudon responded in the second half. He obviously was not very good in the first half, and I asked the guys after the game that we designate somebody starts so that we can get him fired up. Because when he gets fired up, it's unbelievable. It was anything like it. Was it so quick? Even the referees were like, what the?
That one time underneath the bucket, I just kind of looked at Mike and I said, what a beast. He went after that ball.
He chased that ball, and I think 3 of their guys went out of bounds. When he plays like that, is he opens the floor for everybody else. And if we put good shooters around him. But he's got to get to that level. He's got to get himself to that level all the time, because when he's at that level, there's nothing you can do with him. He's too strong.
Cole Gentry, he put up 7 points today, but there was one play on the other end in the second half. Both scrapped it. They got right on the floor, and it's just great to see that.
Loud blocked that shot standing on the floor and was angry that he didn't pick it up, but there was a scramble, and Loud was on the floor first, threw it to Cole. Cole ended up on the floor. I think he got it to Mark Hughes, but it just kind of reiterates the point of how badly our guys wanted to win the game and how desperate they were. We've been frustrated with how we played on the road this year, and we certainly want to do something about it, and it was a very frustrating start for us. The start, but our kids did a great job of fighting through that. We were very fortunate to be down 1 at half the way we were playing. Right. They were just so much more physical than us, and in the second half we were the more physical team.
Justin Mitchell, getting back to having Cole Gentry on the floor, and Mike was talking about, because he knows Cole real well, and he said he gets everybody involved, and Mitchell looked like even a better player today. All the things that he's able to do. What a great flow.
It frees him up to do everything that he's really, really good at, because he's a tremendous defender, tremendous rebounder. He cuts. He's got a good feel for when to cut, and so when you take some of the ball handling responsibilities out, it leaves him more energy to do the things that he's great at. And he's not a terrible runner. We've gone a year and a half with him at our point. We've won 26, 27 games. He's a big reason why. But he's even better when he's not constantly worn out by having to handle the ball.
How about Parker Ernsthouse? Mike said before the game, it seems like he gets 3 charges every game. Today, he got 3 charges.
Great feel for it. Of all the guys I've coached, he's one of the best. Mike was pretty good at it too, by the way. But Parker just gets away enough and has such a good idea of what people are doing. And he's an incredibly intelligent player, and he's very good at it. He just has a tremendous knack for it.
Me and Parker last year would always kind of have little competitions of who could beat each other out in charges, but
that's a good competition to have.
Right. Exactly. It's not like scoring points. Yeah. But another thing that I'll ask is just how important it is to kind of have the luxury of having, and you mentioned it, have another ball handler in the game, and
another player.
Yeah. At the end of the game, I saw we went a little more upperclassmen at the end of the game to take care of the ball, but Cole just really directing guys out there.
Yeah.
How important is that?
Yeah. Well, he's hard to pressure. Even when you try to trap him, he's really hard to trap. He's a great free throw shooter. It was nice to see him knock down a couple shots. He needs to get that going. The guy guy's hardly played in almost 2 or 3 years, and so he was so excited. I was glad that he got some good minutes, and we're just going to get better from here. We just got so much deeper. We can play a little bit faster. Obviously, we scored more points tonight. And our defense stayed there. We held them under 1 point per possession. I think there's 71 possessions in the game. They got 69. And this is a team offensively that's a great offensive team.
You talked about the offensive rebounds for Toledo. Your team not bad either. 15 offensive rebounds. That had to offset the 15 turnovers you had.
Yeah, obviously very frustrated with how the game started. I think, we had 4 turnovers when we had the first time out. I don't know what it is about our starts, but they've not been great, particularly on the road, and we have to get that worked out because, we've got 2 more road games against top teams.
You look at the balanced scoring today, too. I mean, this team shared the ball real well. 4 players in double figures, 2 in double-doubles with Justin Mitchell and Loudon Love.
Well, we've always been very balanced. I mean, we've almost always had 4 or 5 guys with double figures in games. That's the nice thing about having a team like ours. We don't have a superstar. We don't have a guy that you wouldn't know late game what we're running. You'd have no idea because it kind of just depends on how the game's going and who's got the hot hand. But we just don't have that one guy. Like they're going to go to Fletcher and he's going to put it on the floor and go at you. With our basketball team, there's a lot of things we can do because we're not just locked into one play.
Mike said 5 minutes in the second half. He goes, we got to get Toledo, into foul trouble, and you did, and you converted the free throws 73% today, 22 out of 30.
Yeah, and to get to the free throw line, and obviously that's a big difference in the game. We shoot 30 free throws, they shoot 14. Now they had the foul late, and so that's a little bit out of whack. But I think it just tells you how physical we were because usually the more physical team shoots the most free throws, and that's what we were tonight.
Well, you're beaming with pride for your team getting this road win here today, and you should be proud, too, of this young man, Mike LaTula.
Yeah,
I was very, very impressed by how he did here today. So calm and cool.
Had a blast. It was a good time.
That's good. He may have somebody else trying to steal him away from what he's already doing. I don't know.
Well, Jim Brown doesn't have to worry about anything.
Coach, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you as we head on out to Missouri State this week.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Scott Nagy talking about